Hey there, everyone. Amanda here with a full moon in Pisces, Friday the 13th reading for you. This is a collective reading, so as always, take what messages resonate for you and simply leave the rest. If it doesn't resonate, it's probably for someone else. So let's just get right into it since I'm doing one of those little Instagram videos, so it has to be in a certain time. Okay, first card I pulled from my Tarot of the Vampires, which love this deck, was the Six of Scepters. So this is the Six of Wands in the traditional tarot. This is a card about victory. And what I get from the imagery in this particular deck is it seems like there's been a fierce struggle for something. Like there's definitely been some kind of battle or something that's been challenging, but ultimately there's going to be, if you haven't seen it already, there's some kind of victory on the horizon, a chance to be recognized for all the hard work you've done, and also a chance to just feel powerful about what you've created. So that's really awesome. And I'm just feeling like there's a wildness to what's happening, and it's good. It's like unleashing parts of you that maybe haven't seen the light of day, but it's long overdue. So feel free to express your wild side and be victorious. And it seems to me that that's a card saying, you will be victorious in this struggle, but there might be some difficult stuff to overcome and some decisions to be made before you get to that point. I pulled to the Seven of Knives. This is typically a card about some kind of deception or trickery, something a little sneaky maybe. And oftentimes when I pull this, this means there's some way that you're not being fully honest with yourself. So this woman is kind of folded in on herself. She looks a little bit vulnerable, and I think it's time to step further into our vulnerability and look at the ways we've maybe been deceiving ourselves or not fully going for what we want. And I feel like this is a call towards just greater transparency, authenticity, opening up more honest communication. That's what I get from this. Like I said, I really don't feel like it's that somebody else is lying to you. I feel like there's something that needs to come out of the shadows and come to the surface. And I'm seeing too out in this window, it's like you can almost see in the way distance this full moon. So that's confirmation that this was the card for today. And I got the Two of Scepters, and this is all about a decision. Interestingly, in the traditional tarot, this card is a bit more passive, like as if someone's contemplating a choice and hasn't made it yet. But this guy looks like he's pretty decisive. So if you've been weighing options, it seems like perhaps when you get a little bit honest and clear about what you want, you will then feel quite ready to move forward on it pretty quickly. And again, I'm getting a lot of fiery energy from these two cards, so it seems like there is some movement that is coming, but we can't have the movement until we've processed and gone through the emotions that were maybe causing the delay or the stagnation. Interestingly too, I pulled the Seven of Swords from another deck too, so that's a repeat message, which means it's very important. But the imagery on this card, to me, birds and air often represent clarity or some kind of sense of freedom. And the person on this card, it looks like, again, it seems as if they're walking pretty confidently in the direction of their dreams. That's kind of what I'm getting from this. And yeah, this person seems kind of hermit-like, somebody who is contemplating and thinking deeply. But again, I do feel like it's that spending some quiet time with yourself, getting to know yourself again and learn what it is that you want out of life and moving towards those things, trusting that the universe and your angels or anything that resonates with you Spirit's got your back and is helping support you in this victory that's on the horizon. So keep moving forward one step at a time. But the more authentic you can be, I think the greater your success. And it does feel like there's going to be some really quick movement of some kind once a decision is made. I felt like I had to use my mermaid oracle for this reading since it's moon in Pisces, and I pulled the beauty card, and it says grace, loveliness, integrity of form and spirit. This is saying is I think it's a time to get in touch more with our own, appreciating our own inherent beauty, appreciating our body, giving our body what it needs, but also just feeling safe and free to be beautiful and be seen as beautiful by others. I think sometimes we get caught up in playing small, and it just feels like there's a big shift and change on the horizon, and we're being invited to appreciate ourselves a lot more. Also, the word grace has been coming up for me a lot just personally, and to me, we have to offer ourselves and others so much grace. Life is messy, and life is beautiful, and life is a whole gamut of things, but I think we get through it and we experience it more fully and happily when we're able to really tap into grace and unconditional love. And it's funny because the word grace popped out at me on this card, and then from my other deck, I pulled the grace card. So this is a big theme, you know, how can you offer yourself a little bit more grace in the period you're in right now? Because I do think there's been some tough energy and there's been some struggle of late. I'm getting the sense like that is shifting. I mean, this card looks incredibly peaceful. She looks at home in her body. She looks happy to be surrounded by the beauty of nature. So I feel like there's a more peaceful period coming up, which thank goodness, right? But yeah, give yourself a lot of grace and time to reflect in this culmination that we're coming to with this full moon. That's the messages that I'm getting for today. As always, I would love to do a reading for you, so if my readings resonate for you and you'd like to have one that's a little bit more personal, feel free to message me. I'd love to talk about working together. Yeah, and I hope that you have a beautiful full moon, Friday the 13th, and a lovely rest of your month and rest of your week. Wishing you all the best.